That which you cannot measure, you can't improve. See, you cannot fix what you have not accepted. A lot of people have inflicted so much pain on themselves that they are on a full-time survival mode. Survival is somebody who does things for today. You need to decide what are the skills that I need to learn to operate at a different level all the time. Wealth creation is not a solo sport. You cannot build a team behind you unless you have a plan. You must be willing to do the hard things. A lot of people get caught in success because of the narrow definition of what success is. That poor people focus on entertainment and very wealthy people focus on education and growth. And a lot of people always ask me, why don't you wear these brands? I say, I'm not going to become a billboard for somebody who's not paying me for that advertisement.
Yo! Welcome to another edition of Mindset Profits. You are about to thank yourself for clicking on this video because, like I said in a video I did with Uspiwe, you're about to have an experience of a lifetime. I have Dr. Billy Selekane here, who is a globally renowned speaker. He is one of the most sought out speakers in South Africa and recently president of the Public Speakers Association in South Africa as well. Congratulations,
Thank you.
Doc.
Actually, it's 20 years ago.
Yeah.
I was the president for 2006, 2007. Now I'm president again, 2026, 2027, 20 years apart.
This is
crazy.
powerful stuff. This is powerful stuff. So you go around, he goes around helping people unleash their potential. He is not one of the highest paid, most sought out speakers for no reason. And today you're going to find out why, because what we're talking about is how you move from a survival mindset to significance. There's a journey in between, and there is no one better than Dr. Billy to help us connect the dots. So, Doc, it's an honor.
Thank you very much for having me. The privilege and honor is mine. You're the guy who's famous. I'm just the guy who does the work out there.
You cannot put famous here. I appreciate the work that you do.
No, thank you very much.
You won't know this, but we invited you at church at some point. I was sitting at the back and you came and you just put some fire up.
Which church was it?
Hope Restoration.
Ah, yes. That's my church. That's my default church. You know, absolutely. No, and we've gone a long journey with him. And I love the couple very much. And actually, yesterday was a birthday, and happy birthday. If, she's
So you do know. What's in your heart when it comes to this topic for Africans?
Wealth creation is not a solo sport.
Okay.
People think wealth creation is a solo sport. It's not a solo sport.
You don't do this alone.
You don't do it alone. It's impossible to do it alone. And we usually see the end product of the person who has achieved this great wealth, but we don't know the team and the plan behind him. So let me give you an example. I say to people, there would be no Bill Gates if there was no Paul Allen. There would be no Steve Jobs if there was no Steve Wozniak. So every superstar that we see in the front, they have a team behind them. And then they've got external teams, which are coaches and mentors that are helping them to navigate the path of life to get where they want to go. Because some people are talented unilaterally. I'm a talented soccer player. That's all I am. Or I'm a talented musician, or I'm a talented painter, or I'm a talented designer. That's all I am. But I'm not financially astute. I don't know how to put together a team. I don't know how to negotiate. I don't know how to price my wares. So I need a team, a group of people whose expertise lie in these areas.
And they can close these gaps.
They'll close this gap. Because me and you know this person who was an amazing soccer player, but today they're destitute. We know this person was a great musician, quality stadium, but then next thing they're destitute. Is because they don't build teams behind them. But you cannot build a team behind you unless you have a plan. And
is that the same as a vision?
I'm getting into it.
Okay.
So usually people say, well, what's the plan? I say the plan is quite simple. I call it a blueprint. First, you must have a vision.
Okay.
And vision literally speaks about where are you going and what kind of legacy are you going to leave when you're not here. How are people going to know you were here 100 years from today? And once you have defined your vision and you've made it so powerful and so scary that it hits you here, some call it a big audacious goal, but a vision, a very powerful and big vision. Then secondly, say, I need a mission. A mission is, what are the things that I need to do to bring this vision to life?
Okay.
5, 6, 7, 8, and all of us, we've got different processes. And then after your mission, you then say, how am I going to govern myself? Which is your core values. What are the non-negotiables in my life? Because unfortunately, some people start their business legitimately, they get themselves entangled with wrong people, and then they lose everything. Because they did not have a governing structure. They didn't govern themselves. They didn't say, these are the things I'm not going to do, and this is how I'm going to behave when nobody's seeing and when I'm doing business with other people. Those are your values. Your values are your anchor. They are your anchor, you know.
And these extend to the team that you work with.
Exactly. Yeah. But first, they must come from your expression. And then they become corporate or team values. And values, you define what the value is. There has to be a definition around it. Then you have to say, what are the demonstrable, visible behaviors that we must see every day in you to make sure to see that you live in this value.
Okay.
And then thirdly, how do you measure if people are really living the values? Because that which you cannot measure, you can't improve. You see. Otherwise, then values become words that mean nothing to nobody. They have to be solid to define what it is, what kind of, visible, demonstrable behaviors, and how do you measure it? So now, that part I call your philosophical grounding. So that's your philosophy towards your life.
This is the foundation.
That's the foundation. Now from the foundation, we now come to the real crux of the matter. Of how am I going to do this? Now, in how you're going to do this, I've actually rewritten a book that I wrote some time back. I wrote it for internal clients. I didn't put it in the public, but I got permission now that I can rewrite it and get it to the public. It's called Build Your Dream Team for Success.
Oh.
And then that's where the magic happens. But before you get to the team, you've got to do this one major stage. Now, our lives are divided into 6 dynamics.
Okay.
The first dynamic is family and home. We all come from families and want to build our own homes.
Okay.
The second dynamic is around your education and mental capacity. You have a particular way of thinking about things and doing things because you've got a particular education. Now, I'm going to stop a little bit and talk about education. There's 2 sets of education. There's the formal education.
Yeah.
Degree, diploma degree, honors, masters, and PhD. That's formal education. And then the self-education. People that are watching this conversation are doing self-education. Now, I'm not knocking this one education, but this one, after PhD, that's the limit. You can have a second PhD, third PhD, it doesn't matter anymore. But with self-education, it's unlimited. You cannot limit yourself because the beauty about our brains is we go through this thing called neuroelasticity, which means you cannot fill your brains. And I like it because it's called infinitum. So your brain has got the capacity, your brain's capacity is infinitum. So you can't stop learning. So that's the second thing, mental and education. The third one is your career and your finance. Your career determines your finance. Okay? The fourth one, it's your social and recreation. We're social beings, we connect with other people and we do recreation. The fifth one is your health and your wellness. And the last one is your spirituality and your ethical life. So what you do before you get the team, now you've got the philosophical ground, you've got your vision, you've got your mission, you've got your core values. Now you need to do a SWOT analysis of these 6. So think about it. 1 is bad, 10 is absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
You need to give yourself a number between 1 and 10. Where are you in all of this? And SWOT analysis talks about your strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities and threats. You look at the first one, your family and home. What number is it? When you do the SWOT, and it is the toughest exercise you can ever do, but it is the most profound exercise that you'll ever do. Because if you do it, you're going to confront the truth of your life and your limitations. You understand? So you do it for all of them, and you get a number. Some you get 2, some you get 3, some you get 4, some you get 5. And remember, all of these are also dependent on where you are in your life.
True.
For a young man of 25 and an old man of 55, they are in 2 different stages. So in these 6 dynamics that I'm speaking about, all of them have got more emphasis on one, not the other. A young man of 26, you'll see it that in career they are high because they want to become successful, still looking for a job, or they're still studying. And in a person over 55, you'll find family and home is much higher because they're now stable, they're spending more time with family. That's where, they're consolidating their lives. But the mental and education, which is my previous question of how many people have got coaches in any room, that one, it's the most critical. If you don't get that one right, you can't get everything else right. If you cannot set your educational goal for you, your family, and your team, You can't go. You know.
I get you.
You can't. And you need to you need to decide what are the skills that I need to learn to operate at a different level all the time. Because we can't keep doing things. Insanity says if you do things the same way over and over again, you get the same results.
Same results, yeah.
So I always make a joke and say most people are insane, but they just don't know it. You know.
Doc, if we're looking at the two extremes, the two worlds that you gave us,
Yeah.
survival mindset, significance, how do you define the two so it becomes clear what the journey is?
So survival is somebody who does things for today. And all they're thinking about is what am I going to eat tonight? They can never think about anything else because they are in such a state of their lives that they have to survive. Some people are employed, but they have got 30 to 40 or even 50% debt to ratio based on and their financial capability in the debt ratio, it's not good. So they are surviving, they're really struggling. And actually there were results now that came out from the Gallup group that does employee wellness. They say 72% of employees in SADC are struggling.
Okay.
72%.
That's a lot.
It's a lot.
So that means it's 72% of Africans are in survival mode.
In SADC, in sub-Saharan.
Oh, this is sub-Saharan.
Yeah. That's a big number.
That's a scary number.
It's a scary number. And what they mean they go to work, they get paid, some spend 60% of their money on transport, some have got big debt, some of them have left the township to move into suburbs trying to impress people that they don't even like, and now they cannot afford to pay the bonds. They've got 2 cars because they want to be seen. I'm living in town now, my wife must have her own car, and must have my own car. So a lot of people have inflicted so much pain on themselves that they are on a full-time survival mode. like full-time. And I usually say that poor people focus on entertainment and very wealthy people focus on education and growth. But the very same 72% of people that are in trouble are the ones that are going to fill a stadium to go and watch music. Spend money they don't have, again, trying to impress people they don't like. So Africa, we've got to shift from this consumer mentality into a producer mentality. Once we do that, we're going to shift from survival into significance.
As you are still on survival mode, what does it do to a person?
It destroys your self-esteem completely. That's why there's an abuse of alcohol, there's drugs, and because people are depressed, literally. We've got serious mental issues. And as Africans, we label mental stress different.
This is witchcraft.
Witchcraft and all kind of things. So people are struggling, The rate of divorce, it goes back to the same thing, to the same fact that people are struggling. And therefore they cannot express themselves fully because they're worried about what they're going to eat tonight. And unfortunately, like I'm saying, there's the systemic one and there's the one that people choose by default, because choice is either by commission or omission. You've either chosen to make a choice or you've chosen not to make a choice, but a choice will be made.
Either way, you're not moving.
Either way, you're not trying to say. So yeah, and it's funny because we as Africans, we live this illusion of success. We love the illusion of success. People wear expensive clothes, man. I don't want to be sued by these brands. But a lot of people always ask me, why don't you wear these brands? I say, I'm not going to become a billboard for somebody who's not paying me for that advertisement.
Yo!
If they want me to wear their clothes, they have to pay me. It's as simple as that. So my clothes are labeled as, or otherwise it's my brand. I've got my own personal brand. But otherwise, I don't wear, I'm not a billboard for any brand. And Africans, we love being billboards of these brands.
Until they pay you, then you wear their stuff.
Yeah, if they're not paying me, why should I? Why should I advertise it? Why should I advertise their brand if they're not paying me for it? So that, and my thinking was molded long time ago.
Yeah.
Because I grew up in a society where people, I thought, oh my God, I want to grow up and be like this person. When I got closer to them, I realized, oh my God, this guy's in trouble. Like this guy's in full-time survival mode. I don't want to be like this guy. And then I asked myself, how did he get here? Then you look at their habits, the things they do, the clothes they wear, the alcohol they drink, and all these kind of things. It's everything that doesn't create any value but extracts money from them. So there's no value building but value extraction.
So survival mode, and what is done to people is we put stuff around us that drains money off our pockets and doesn't build wealth.
Yes, and then we create this illusion of success.
And we call it comfort.
Yes.
We call it stability.
It's not. There was a picture that did around some time back on Facebook. It was Mark Zuckerberg, Bill Gates, 4 of these billionaires. And among them, there was not even one brand. There was no Gucci, there was no nothing. Billionaires, multi-dollar billionaires. But now we must start this
once you have a little something, you need to show them.
Louis Vuitton, we can't carry on like this, and we fail to support our own local brands.
That is sad.
So we are the only nation actually on planet Earth that does not support the growth internally towards themselves, but give their money to other nationalities. Steve Biko was a prolific writer and an amazing guy, and I still think his education needs to be taught. He once said that, how do you know if a nation is defeated?
Okay.
He says, when that nation gives another nation its children to educate.
Ooh.
When they borrow from that other nation to survive.
Jesus.
When they use that nation's educational system to teach, then you must know that this nation is defeated.
That's all of Africa. That's what...
It's sad, it's sad, man. I do a lot of work around the world. And when I do work in Africa, I've got a very highly developed sense of social responsibility. I feel like I'm a feeling person. I remember my first time in India when I went to do some work in India, in Mumbai.
Yeah.
I got physically sick because of the poverty, because I was picked up on a Bentley from the airport. Some of my potholes, Bentley. And we got to this amazing hotel, the Taj Mahal.
Yeah.
So the journey from the airport to the Taj Mahal, the kind of poverty that I saw with my eyes.
On your way there.
On my way to got me physically sick because of my high sense of social responsibility and consciousness. The same thing happens when I go into African countries to go and do work. It's painful. And to think that they've got, you name it, uranium,
gold,
platinum, coltan, all these rare metals that the world would not survive without. There will be no Apple phone without the coltan. Where is it mined in the DRC and what's happening there?
War.
Exactly. But within that war, there's still profiteers. There are people making money. It's sad. And I think as Africans, when we speak about African Renaissance, it's not a political concept. It's a socio-economic concept. Because if you look at Africa before colonialization, we were a very powerful continent. We had very powerful economic structures.
Okay.
Now, usually when you ask people, where was the first university created? They say Timbuktu. I said, no. The first university in Africa was created in a place called Fars in Morocco, started by a woman called Fatima.
Okay.
It took the Europeans 130 years before they had their first university in Italy, in the city of Bologna. That university is called the University of Bologna. We taught Greeks mathematics. Africa was a powerful continent, and colonialism came and things changed, and now we're
colonialism was the problem.
Yes, it still is. It still is. Because South Africa, we're 31 years into this democratic process. How much of the economy do we black people own?
Yeah.
Significantly.
It's a very small portion.
We're not shifting the needle at all. Again, both systematic and self-inflicted. There's a system that has been created, but we have the numbers. I usually say to people, a very organized minority will always rule a disorganized majority.
And that's what's happening.
That's what's happening. Small group of people, better organized, they run the show.
What does significance then look like? What's your definition of significance? So we appreciate this journey.
So significance goes back to JFK saying, ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country.
Ooh.
So significance is about you dying and saying everything that I do has to impact or unlock other people's opportunities.
Oh.
You understand? So you are in that space in your life where you don't need things to validate who you are. You don't need to drive a particular car, wear a particular suit, wear a particular watch. All those things mean nothing because your life is so impactful that your focus is liberating, it's giving people opportunities, it's mentoring, and it's coaching. And your success, therefore, is not measured by your personal benefits, it's measured by the impact that you give to society. That's when it becomes significant.
So this is, if I'm looking at the journey the way you're saying, there's stability, there's the survival mode, then stability after, because you fight your way out, and then there's success, which is what everyone is chasing.
Yes.
And then there's the significance that you're talking about, and this is
a lot of
beyond
people,
success.
but a lot of people get caught in success because of the narrow definition of what success is.
Oh.
You see, we define success by things, by cars, by houses, whatever. And you get surprised that the cars that people drive in, the house that they live in, they don't actually own.
It's a lot of debt.
It's a lot. They're owned by the bank. You know, I used to make a joke and say, if you have a house, and it's a joke, but it's serious. If you have a house and you're still having a bond, don't tell me come to my house for a braai. Tell me come to Absa's house for a braai. It's not mine yet. You know.
I hear you. So if someone then says, all right, Doc, I am in survival mode, this has landed, how do I fix it? What's my blueprint moving forward?
You've got to, you see, you cannot fix what you have not accepted. So abantu they think you just put a bandage. So you've got to understand that everything stems from your thought processes.
Yeah.
It stems from, the Bible says, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. But that, a lot of people don't know, it's actually a model called the quantum model of reality. That phrase.
Please explain.
Now, the quantum model of reality says, when you have clarity of thought, when you are completely clear about what you want, and you write it down, and then you elevate your heart and take it to a place where these things that you've written down that you want have actually happened, time and space will collapse. And those things have got no choice but to happen. Which is what Jesus Christ taught. He says, ask anything in my name, believe that you have it before you have it, and then you shall have it. It shall be there. Because when you elevate your heart, and so when the heart is elevated and the mind is clarity, they come together. Like I'm saying, space and time collapses. And this thing has to happen. When I'm saying space and time collapses, I mean, it might take a month, it might take 2 months, it might take a year. It has happened already. But the physical manifestation has to go through the journey in the sphere of creation for it to happen.
Okay, let's make it practical for someone who wants. Let's make it clear. I know it's practical. Let's make it clear for someone who says, I'm at a stage in my life where I need to start over. Because I think this is most relevant to someone like that.
Yeah. But start over from what? That's what you...
Let's say I used to be flying. I used to have what I call success, but something happened along the way. I've lost everything.
You've got to go to what is that something that happened. Because until you fix that, it's going to come back again. It's fascinating.
I thought you were coming with good news.
No, that's just a fascinating thing. The same thing that brought you down, which you did not interrogate and take responsibility of, and then say, I am going to fix this in this way. You can't dodge it. It's going to come back and bite you again. The same thing is going to come back again. That's why you find a person that has an abusive relationship. They say, I've been through 5 relationships. All of them are abusive. It's because you did not deal with that emotion or that vibration that caused the abuse to happen. You have not dealt with it. You have not cleansed yourself away from it. So therefore, in your mind and in your vibration, it's still there. Therefore, it's going to attract again the same relationship that you had because you haven't dealt with it. It's the same thing with business and money. It's exactly the same thing.
So find out where things
where things went wrong. Accept responsibility. Because that's the thing. It's easy for him to say, bebangang badal, my client bebangang badal. You has been 7 in the government. You has government to 6 months. But question yourself, when abobo badala abantu in time now.
All right. So you can't keep blaming government for not having paid you. Were you paying people? Were you having those values that you expect?
Exactly. So remember, you want to be treated equally well. So treat everybody equally well. So you've got to find out. I'll give an example. I went through a very deep personal journey with my weight. I've been struggling with my weight for a very long time. Then I'll be on this diet. Then I'm on this diet. I'm on this diet. 2 months nyawa, poo.
You backslide.
I'm back. I backslide. I'm back to my habits. And then I realized that if I keep doing this thing the way that I've been doing it, I'm still going to get exactly the same results. So I had to question my habits because it's my habits that are causing my health to be this way. And if I'm not going to deal with the roots of my habits, it's going to be a vicious cycle. It will keep happening until I cracked it, until I became clear in my mind, and until I wrote it down, until my heart elevated itself to a place where I was weighing the size that I wanted, the case that I wanted to weigh. And every day my mind was clear and my heart was very happy. And the bad habits, I could identify them very quickly and deal with them. Change began to happen.
What do you think was stopping you before you resolved?
It's lack of responsibility. I did not want to be responsible for my bad habits. Let me tell you, any room that you can go to, people know their issues there. I'm telling you, but what are they willing to do? Most people are not willing. I say to people, if you do the very hard things in your life will be easy. But if you do the very easy things in life, your life will be very hard. You must be willing to do the hard things.
And that is what gets you to significance.
That's what moves you to significance. And by the way, you don't arrive at significance. The world honors you and accepts you in significance. It's not a place you arrive at.
Hey!
It's a place the world accepts you at and honors you based on the work you've been doing.
So you think a lot of us have a narrow definition of success?
We do. A lot of people always ask me, so what is the definition of success? The definition of success is the manifestation of purpose and flow.
Hey, don't go. Yeah.
That's what, and define it. I mean, that's what it is. Success is the manifestation of purpose and flow. Purpose, you now found your purpose, you're living it. Flow, everything is flowing for you, to you, for you. Now, this definition of success was decoded in the year 815.
Okay.
In Japan.
That's a long
time ago. That's a long time ago.
Yeah.
That's a long time ago. So, there was this amazing small little village in Japan. And they had a lot of centennials. Centennials are the people that live up to the age of 100, 101, 102 and whatever.
Yeah.
This island is called Okinawa.
Okay.
So somebody from mainland Japan went to this island, small island, and they were surprised. They found these old people.
Over 100 years.
Who were healthy. 80 years old, healthy. They said, man, this is strange. How does this happen? And when they went back to Japan, they started telling people that we've experienced this thing in this place called Okinawa. So the mainland Japanese people says, man, maybe we need to do a research and find out what are these people doing differently. And when you do a research, you come up with assumptions first. So there were 3 assumptions.
Yeah.
Probably the water they're drinking is much more cleaner than them.
Cleaner.
The food is much more cleaner because they're not industrialized. And the air is cleaner because it's not industrialized. So they sent a research team there. The water was the same, the food was the same, and the air was the same. Just a little difference because mainland Japan was more industrialized. And the question was, how did these people achieve this? And they realized that these people had a concept that they lived their lives through. That concept is called the ikigai.
That's where it comes from.
Yes. Now the ikigai is 2 words put together. The word iki means life, and the word gai means worth. What is your life's worth? What is your life's purpose? It's a very complex process, but I'm just going to simplify it for you. So in this place in Okinawa, when you are a young person, 14, 16, whatever, they ask you these 4 questions. And these 4 questions, you've got to get them yes, yes, yes. And then they know that you're living your life's purpose. And if you get the last one no, you've got to find something else.
So you're about to drop questions everyone should be asking themselves.
Exactly. So the first question is, what is it that you love doing? Not what is it that you saw somebody doing. Not what is it that you wish you could be doing because you think that person is doing it, they're enjoying this kind of lifestyle. What is it that you really love doing? That's the first question they'll ask you. And the second question they'll ask you, this thing that you love doing, does the world need it? Will it make an impact in the world? And the third question, it's a monetization question. Will you be paid for it?
Is there an economic engine around
Is there an economic engine around it? And then the last question, if you get that one wrong, you go back to question number 1. Are you exceptionally good at it? Are you the best of the best at it? And if you answer yes to one of these questions, whatever it was, it could have been gardening, it could have been anything. Once you do that thing that has been given to you as a celestial appointment, that God deposited in you, and knowing that you are the only person who's supposed to do this, you then get into flow. Things happen for you.
Purpose and flow now.
Purpose and flow.
I think a lot of people will not get this until they get exposed, like go around. I have had the pleasure of working with plumbers, and when I grew up, as many people think, I thought plumbers, okay, you come, you fix bathrooms and toilets and stuff. That doesn't pay much. I work with plumbers now who make like $1 million a month.
Yes.
And I thought, plumbing does this.
Yeah.
And then you have people who are cleaning. There's a lady that I spoke to, Usi Sumbali. She monetized cleaning, like cleaning at home, being a housekeeper. Monetized it on social media, has a book, and built a company where you can outsource called Sisters at Work. It started off as cleaning. And I guess it has now all those 4. Build an economic
Find
engine.
what you love doing. The world must need this thing that you love doing. It must be monetized, and you must be exceptionally good at it.
Thank you.
And now here's the magic. Once you now leave your ikigai, you then get into this thing called exponential growth. So everything that you touch multiplies quicker. When you have 1,000 rands, it operates like 10,000. When you have 10,000 rands, it operates like 100,000. When you have 100,000, it operates like 1 million. And people who don't leave their ikigai, who have not found their purpose and flow, when they've got 1 million, it operates like 10,000.
Doc, is there a journey or a process, a system for finding it? Because I imagine someone who will say, I'm stuck in my job, in a career I don't like. I've got a business. It's frustrated me to the point that I don't even enjoy going to work. When you ask me, what do you love doing? I don't see it. Or what I love doing, I don't see money behind it.
There's nothing that you can love doing that doesn't have monetization behind it.
You just don't know how.
You just don't know how to create the process to monetize it. You just spoke about cleaning.
Yeah.
Everybody cleans. And if you said somebody would build a 10 million business out of cleaning, somebody would laugh. I clean in my kitchen.
No way.
No ways. And you see, this lady did it. You know, there was a guy who almost smart socks. What? I don't know. I can't.
Yeah.
His smart socks were handed out at the Grammy Awards at some point in time. I'm a cows. I mean,
Socks.
Like socks. You understand? So that is because he's in flow. When you're in flow, you are untouchable, literally. You know.
You make me remember a guy as well who was doing beatboxing when TikTok was becoming a thing in America, and I think he left his degree and the parents were fuming. You are leaving school to do beatboxing. On TikTok, he makes millions now.
You know, one of the things that we're doing now is we're digitizing all my work. Everything that I've ever said, written, we're getting it digitized because we want to build a $1 billion digital empire, you know, and now it's possible.
Congrats, Doc.
We are in. It is the first time in the history of human beings where you'll have a one-person unicorn, where you'll have one guy start a business and make it $1 billion using AI, one person. You know, I'll give an example with Telegram. You know that chatting.
Yeah.
Telegram is a 30 billion business. He's got only 30 employees.
Whoa.
Who all work remote. And they're worth over 30 billion. So we are in very exciting times, especially with AI. These times that we're in, I just love AI and what it can do and how it can create exponential growth. And that's what we must do. So let's go back to your question that says, how would somebody know what their purpose is or their ikigai? There are a lot of online tools, you know, that you can use to do your profiling, you know.
Okay.
There's DISC, which is a personality profiling tool. There's another one around purpose that can sort of help you find your purpose. But a friend of mine, his name is Roger Hamilton. Roger Hamilton, there's a book, a Chinese book, which is about 6,000-7,000 years old, called I Ching, the Book of Change.
Okay.
Now the Chinese You remember we used to go to kung fu movies, they would do monkey style, what.
I love those.
So the Chinese understands this one profound thing that many of us, we Africans actually know this thing, but I don't know how this knowledge just got lost. That man mimics nature.
Oh.
Okay. So all the elements in nature gets found in man. Some people are fire, they've got this passion and they're fire people. Some people are earth people, very cool and calm. Some people are storm, like stormy people and stuff like that. So Roger Hamilton read this book. It's there, it's available, you can read it, H in the Book of Change. And through this, he created a system. This system is called wealth dynamics.
Okay.
So Roger Hamilton realized that there are 8 wealth creation characters that we have as human beings. So I'm going to give this. I mean,
You can give a couple.
Yeah.
Anyone can go look for the book.
It's go to www.wealthdynamics.com.
Okay.
Wealthdynamics.com.
Yeah.
It will cost you $98. That's about 1,000 rands.
Yeah.
The best 1,200 you've ever spent.
Yeah.
But what
That's what you call it. The best $100.
yes, because what you get from that data,
It's going
it's
to
going to
change
blow your
life.
mind. It's going to change your life literally, because what it will do, it will tell you which is your core wealth creation character. Okay, and then you'll be so surprised. You think, oh my God, that's why I'm struggling with this thing. I'm not supposed to be doing this thing. I'm supposed to be doing this thing. You know what I'm trying to say? And what it also do, it will tell you what kind of team you need to support you. It's a fascinating tool, and I mean, I've done it 4 or 5 times. So that gives you the most powerful foundation. And even the Ikigai, you can go online and search the ikigai.com or buy the book and read it. So these are 2 resources that if you go and find them, they will give you a very strong and solid grounding. And from there, you can build.
I love it. I will link up the resource.
Yeah.
I think in parting words for people just in Africa, it's in your heart to say, how do we make this message land beyond just entertainment,
Yeah.
to say this was nice to listen to,
Yeah.
to something they can action?
So I'm writing a platform, or a platform which will become an app. It's called AFW, African Family Wealth.
Okay.
So I've realized, like, again, wealth creation is not a solo sport. And I've realized that most African people, when they start their businesses, he becomes the business. When he dies, the business dies.
Which happens a lot.
Which happens a lot. There are no governance structure. Things are not structured. So I'm putting together this process. We've did a lot of research around it. And I think when it's ready, I would like to come back here and we'll launch it together.
Please.
Because it's going to be a tool that shifts people from debt creation, from debt to cash flow, to financial freedom, to wealth creation, to legacy building.
I'm loving it already.
Yeah. So that's what we're going to do. And one of the things we're going to do is we have documented African dynasties. African families that have made money, lost money. African families that have built money in different industries. The Mutaung made money in sport. The Maponyas make money in retail. Some others made money in coal. Some others make money in mining. And then we'll trace again their profiles to this wealth that they've created and the impact and significance that they've left behind. Because there are a lot of good stories that we can learn from, but unfortunately, because we don't document enough as Africans so that the next generation can learn from us. So that's what this platform is going to be about. So it's literally going to be about how do we teach Africans to create generational wealth.
I love it. No, you are welcome. Once it's ready, are there rough timelines?
September, the platform should be ready.
Okay.
Yeah.
Look out towards the end of the year.
Yeah.
We'll redo this and launch the platform that's going to help you change your life. Doc, as we wrap, please unpack this statement, or a question rather. Why is it that we are proud of our culture as Africans, but our culture doesn't have wealth dynamics as part of it? Like, we are so hell-bent on, this is how you speak to your father, this is how you speak to your mother, this is how you treat the dead, this is how you do 1, 2, 3. We've got a lot of protocols, but there's no, this is how you build generational wealth.
No, it has always been. It has just been destroyed and bastardized by colonial. It has always been. If you go back to the most rural areas, what do they do when a child was born? They'll give him inkomo or imvu.
There's a cow that follows.
He gets a cow and then they borrow him. This process, that's what African family wealth is going to do. We're going to go back and show people that we had wealth creation mechanisms and preservation mechanisms. It got lost and we have to reclaim it. We've always, When they say Africa is the cradle of humankind, people think it's just a statement and a joke. The world would not have been as advanced as it has become if it was not of Africa. And we've forgotten that. I mean, like I just said to you, and you know, mathematics, Pythagoras, the guy Pythagoras, the Greek, he did not come with that theorem. He was taught that theorem in a jail in Egypt. And he's the one that took it out there. Coffee, which is the highest traded commodity on the stock exchange, was started in Africa by a guy called Kaldi, who was a goat herder. There are a lot of innovations and creations that started in Africa that got lost in the process because we're not good at documenting and we're not good sometimes at preserving. But if you look at places like Ethiopia, they've got the oldest Bible in the world, they've got the oldest churches and those kind of things. There have always been creations, wealth creation mechanisms that will pass from one generation to the other, but unfortunately migrating into towns and destroying society, our societies completely destroyed our wealth creation protocols. But they are there.
Then where did this thing come from? Because it's an observation that I see that a lot of Africans can't work with each other.
It's because a foreigner came and gave you labels, and you love those labels than you love yourself. So you're fighting against labels. I'm going to say something that people might think is controversial, but I'm going to say it anyway. I find it fun when somebody says, I'm a Catholic. What does that mean? You're a Catholic. I'm a Baptist. What does that mean? You're a Baptist. You are an African. Catholicism is a concept that was created in Rome to steal land from people. It's got nothing. Baptism was started in the USA. You know, so we like attaching these labels that make us feel very significant, but they're destroying the essence of who we are. We were a powerful nation. We're still going to become a powerful nation. And I think platforms like this, men like you, men like me, other women out there doing amazing work, re-energizing and re-educating Africa, I believe in the next 100 years. Actually, one of the most amazing thinkers, his name was L. Ron Hubbard, the founder of Scientology, said many years ago, he says, the second most powerful civilization is going to come from Southern Africa.
Whoa.
And it's happening anyway. Not at the speed that it should, but it's beginning to happen.
Thank you so much for gracing us with your presence.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure.
It's been a masterclass.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for joining us till this time. Please do drop all the questions that you have for Doc. Show him all the love for this beautiful masterclass. And remember, I'm going to take the questions that you have for the next time that it comes and the platform that is going to build. But this has been good. We really appreciate you.
Thank you very much.
See you in the next episode.